Now, how are you doing? I am great. Thank you so much for asking. It's me, Kim, and I'm back for another live stream. I have not been on this channel a lot lately. I've been over on For Harriet, just spilling my guts, spilling every single little ounce of my guts. If you were just over there earlier today, I did take both of those live streams down. They will go back up behind the paywall, but it was just too. I was just saying too much. You know what I'm saying? And saying other people's business. So we will get those edited and get them, back up. But I can say my business, but I can't really be putting other people's stuff out there. But I'm back to be on the KNF channel, my pop culture reviews, commentary, aesthetics channel to talk about some nonsense that really doesn't matter, but that I've been fascinated with for the past couple of days. And that is the Harry and Meghan Markle docu-series. I'm sure that they're too sophisticated to call it a reality show. So docu-series that is up on Netflix. Okay, let us, before we get into it, comments. Yes, hello. Hi. Okay. Do I think that the mother is lying? Whoa, y'all are already really going in. You look like an American Girl doll. No, I don't take that as I'm not insulted because I kind of understand what you're saying. Okay. Oh, and by the way, I'm awake right now because I just switched Adderall prescriptions and my sleep schedule is so messed up. I literally feel like it's 2 p.m. Like I'm literally wide awake, but I've been awake since 6 a.m. Anyways, we love pharmaceuticals. Yeah, I've just switched to a different form of it, but wow, not tired at all. Okay, it's literally what time is it? Oh, it's 11 p.m. It's dark outside. Wide awake. Okay, so we are here to talk about the first 3 parts of Harry and Meghan on Netflix. The next 3 parts will come out on December 15th at 3 a.m. So like in a few hours. A few hours from now, right? 3 a.m. my time, or is it 3 a.m. Eastern time? I think maybe 2 a.m. my time. I don't know. The release schedule, Netflix, y'all are doing a whole lot. But I am a follower. I am not even particularly fascinated by Harry and Meghan at this point. I think I watched the Oprah interview and talked about that. And I don't follow them on social media. I just don't think that they're particularly interesting people. But this is a very interesting story. And you see people talking about things you want to jump on. Okay, let us, before we really get into it, I have some announcements. Oh, the first announcement is cop some merch. I literally took notes in my I'm great. Thank you so much for asking bullet journal. That is, let me get behind it so that it'll focus. That is up on the merch store right now. Link down below, kimberlyinfoster.com/merch. And there's sweatshirts, there's joggers, there's t-shirts, there's phone cases. We are at, I like to keep track of this. I think there's something in my brain that is obsessed with like numbers and lists. So I'm obsessed with the number. All right, we are at 323 merch orders so far. Shout out to y'all. Thank y'all so much for the support. And next announcement. Ooh, I haven't been on here to talk about this. Sorry, y'all. Late to the party, literally and figuratively. I am having a Christmas party, holiday party in Dallas on Saturday, and I'm so excited. It's going to be so great. It's going to be at a venue called the Sweet Tooth Hotel downtown Ooh, you know what we should actually do? Let me just pull up the video real quick. I forgot to upload it, but so, I decided that because I am for the first time literally since early childhood so excited about Christmas. I am so happy and joyful. I've had such a great time so far this holiday season. I decided that I wanted to throw a Christmas party. And so that is what we're doing. And like just fun. Okay, here we are. Let me pull this up. Ooh, okay. We'll go here. Oh, what, girl? Okay. 1 second. 1 second. Now, come on. Okay. All right. Goodness gracious. Not the encoder messing up. Okay. So let's talk some more about this Christmas party. This is the website. If you haven't been to it yet, shame on you. I don't know why I decided to call it Kimberly's Litmus Party because I am old and corny. But basically, it is this Saturday, 6:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. So my thinking for that time was it's like early enough in the day where it can be a pregame, you know what I mean? You stop by open bar, cocktails, beer, wine, and mocktails, okay, if you're not drinking. But late enough so that you get dressed up because this is a dress up event. You go out, you have your fun, you dance, you drink, you take pictures because there is going to be a photographer there. So it's your outing. If you want to just come home afterwards, you can, and you don't feel guilty for being old and washed. You know what I mean? So it's something for everybody right now. On Saturday, we are gonna have cake, food, pictures. I wanted to actually play the video that explains exactly what the Sweet Tooth Hotel is. Oh, love these pictures from the venue. I literally am so giddy because I've never thrown a party before. I haven't even thrown my own birthday party before. That's crazy. Okay, so here's the bar area of the venue. Obsessed. Obsessed. It's so cute. So cute. I literally cannot wait. Look at that. It's so Kim. It's so Kim. It's so cute. Okay, but it also has these different little rooms that are technically art installations where, selfies, photos, pose for the photographer. Here's one of them. Here's another one. Another one. Here's, images of the drink, the specialty cocktails or whatever. Literally, when I saw the venue, I was like, I have to throw a party here. I have to. So I am. Somebody emailed me to complain that the tickets were too expensive. And so for the next day, literally like for the next 24 hours, 24 and a half hours, the tickets are reduced to $25 instead of the $40. I understand financial constraints. And so we are going to have a little window of more affordability that is as low as I could go. $25 is as low as I could go to feel good. The party is open to all genders and ethnicities. So a lot of times I do things specifically for Black women and femmes in the DFW area. This is open to everybody. I have looked at the ticket sales. Definitely some non-femme, non-woman people up in there. So we will all have a great time together. I'm excited to see you guys. We're going to look so fucking cute. It's going to be a great time. And I know. I feel like this is like a new thing, we're trying it out. All right. Let's see. Oh, I do not have money. No, I don't. No, I don't. But anyways, the venue is so, so cute. See the money moves. The venue is adorable. I'm obsessed. It is, I literally cannot wait. It's going to be such a freaking vibe. Okay. Any more announcements? Oh, one more. All of the videos that are going up behind the paywall are now also being uploaded as individual downloads / streams on Gumroad. I know people don't want to commit to a monthly payment, or they just want to try me out. You know what I mean? And so if that is you, click the Gumroad link below. There's a lot of stuff. Everything that I've done in December is up there. There's older stuff that's also up there, so you can see what the people behind the paywall are getting. So Patreon, Substack, YouTube members. The thing is, of course, one of those videos, like, $3, like the lowest tier of Patreon is $2. So it's like, but whatever, I understand. People have commitment issues. You know what I don't want to subscribe to any more. I don't want to sign up for any more subscriptions either. Okay, so I get it. I think that is it for us. Thank you guys so much. This is my, Christmas party aesthetic right now. Also, very proud of the fact that I did my own hair. Okay, we're doing good here. Let's finally get into some real stuff. Enough about me. Oh, last thing though. People keep asking me about my lip gloss. What lip gloss do I use? Which lip products? There is a link below to all of the lip products that I use, since now I am a lip gloss influencer. So the link is to the newsletter, which is where I also upload extra free content. So if you want the extra free content, you can subscribe to the free tier of the newsletter. You do not have to subscribe to the paid tier. Have we gotten everything out of the way? Yes, we have. Let's talk about Harry and Meghan. We're going to start with episode 1. Hoo-wee. Let me look at my notes here. Harry and Meghan. The first thing that I want to say before we really get into it is these people are really in love. I don't know why. Maybe I've had some doubts before about, are y'all just trauma bonding? Like, are y'all just sticking together because, there's nothing else, right? But from the very beginning of this docuseries directed by Liz Garbus, I'm like, their body language is very telling, the way that they interact with each other, the way they speak to each other. It is so tender and genuine. I'm convinced. And I will say that the first episode of the series is really them talking about their love story. And I definitely can be a romantic love cynic. I definitely can be a romantic love skeptic. But it really was heartwarming, them documenting the process of meeting and falling in love. Oh, before we go further, I have to say that this is a hit. No wonder I felt so much peer pressure to watch it, because this is the most viewed documentary series from Netflix ever. Millions and millions of people across the globe has seen it. Okay. Are you ready? I'm so paranoid now because in my last live stream, like, my lip gloss smeared so badly. So I'm now like constantly checking. Anyways, y'all let me know if my lip gloss gets fucked up, okay? So Harry and Meghan affirm what I have been saying for years, okay? Social media, best dating apps. Now, they met on Instagram. I have met the first man that I ever fell in love with. I was trying to make sure it was the right app. The first man I ever fell in love with in 2016, we met on Twitter. So, baby, okay, if you trying to meet, hook up, mingle, get your Instagram Abby right, get your IG stories right, get your Twitter Abby right. Upload your thirst traps, okay? Because that is where people are hanging out and very casually scrolling. So I don't think that they ever told this story before, but the official story of Harry and Meghan meeting was he has a Finsta, like all responsible public figures, and he was scrolling on his Finsta and he saw Meghan in the Snapchat doggy ears. RIP, by the way. The doggy ears, the animal ears filters, what a time to be alive. And the men hated it. Well, some men hated it, right? So he saw her and he was immediately, taken with how beautiful she was. And they got connected. And Meghan, who had just recently been divorced at this time, this was 2015, was like, what's going on? And so they connect. They are texting, they are FaceTiming. And it's also interesting here thinking of Harry, Prince Harry, as just like a person, you know what I mean? Like a human who like FaceTimes people, who like hits on people, who talks to people over the phone. And, me being surprised by that, me being struck by that is such a good reminder or representation of how celebrity, in like whatever form it takes, does dehumanize people in our minds. Because hearing him talk about doing things that are just so quotidian, you know what I mean? So normal, so average. And I'm just like really struck by, oh, you're hooking up on Instagram like us normies. But yes, he's just a real person. But do you think do you think William has a Finsta? Probably not, right? Do you think Kate has a Finsta? Probably not. Like, Harry is particularly normal. Okay. Probably not. No. What is her name now? Princess Kate or something? Is she the Princess of Wales? Oh, is Kate the Princess of Wales now? I'm American. I'm sorry, I have to look this up. That's weird. Oh, she is Catherine, Princess of Wales. Ooh. Okay, so I'm sure Catherine, Princess of Wales, does not have a Finsta right now. She is the Princess of Wales now. So everybody moves up through the line of succession. Okay. Okay. Ooh, oh, y'all are anti-Meghan in the comments? I was not expecting that. Let me close this chat. Bad vibes. Okay, so they immediately are drawn to each other. They are texting. They are FaceTiming. And eventually, things proceed. And they have to figure out, okay, what are you going to do? By this time, Meghan is on Suits, a show that I never watched, but I heard is pretty good. I also love Wendell Pierce. That is one of my weird celebrity crushes. Like, I'm literally going to go see Death of a Salesman on Broadway because I'm obsessed with Wendell Pierce. I shouldn't say I'm sick because I don't want to be derogatory towards him, but that is one of my unusual crushes. And I would smash 100%. Anyways, let me like low-key trying to put that up there. Like, if he does see this, like, I'm being serious. If somebody clips this and sends it to him, I am being serious. Okay. So, she flies to the UK. They meet in person. It's immediate sparks. They are immediately taken with each other and infatuated. And you know what? I've been doing my fair share of dating recently, and I've taken a step back because I just have so much going on. And I actually really do appreciate stories like this because it is a reminder of, when you know, you know. When it's right, it's right. You don't have to question it. You don't have to be like, oh, he's, smart and he's nice and he has a good job, but I just don't, why am I not attracted to him, right? Like, if you're doing all that, then it's not right. You know what I mean? Move on. And so I loved them talking about the whirlwind romance. Also, the other thing, when they are, during this part, they are showing us never before seen pictures from those days, videos. And the other thing that popped into my mind, wow, iPhone quality has improved so drastically over the last 6 years, since 2016. Like, it is night and day. Nuts. Crazy. Oh gosh, y'all are really anti-Meghan in here. Okay, y'all. Look, we can't be yeah, if you want to be a mod, if you want to be a mod, just let me know because it's going to get weird. It's going to get weird. So just let me know. Okay, let me go ahead and do this real fast cuz okay. Oh, I'm not even logged into the right channel. All right, talk amongst yourselves. We're just gonna get some mods so that I'm afraid that one of y'all is gonna say the N-word or something when we get to the juicy part. What is going on? Why is it not letting me? Oh, goodness gracious. We're going. Okay, mod. SCJ. Why is it not letting me log in? Whoa. Anyways, I'll have to do that later. I don't know why it's not letting me log into my actual thing. What's going on here? Anyways, no, I don't think that Meghan was plotting to get with Harry. No, I don't think that. No, I actually really do believe the story of he saw her, he pursued her. Absolutely, I believe that. So from the very beginning, I find Harry to be I love a rich text. I say this all the time. I like a complicated figure, a layered figure. And Harry absolutely is that. It's really clear from the way that he talks about his life and talks about his experiences. First of all, had some therapy for sure. And he's a big advocate for therapy because he talks about, the mental health care that he's had to get since his mother's death. But it's sunk in. You know what I mean? Sometimes men go to the therapist and it doesn't quite work out. But the thoughtfulness, the candor, the self-reflection and introspection, talking about not only his position within the royal family, within the British royal family, but also his relationship to his misdeeds. So a lot of that first episode was us getting more intimately acquainted with Harry and Meghan and hearing them talk about themselves through their own words. And so Harry, for most of his life, or from what I knew of him as an American who doesn't really care about royals, he was the rapscallion. He was the rebel, fiery red hair, freckles, but also scandals. I definitely remember the Nazi uniform scandal. I definitely remember talk of him, getting drunk and having outbursts and dating all of these girls. And he talks in that first episode about what was going on with him, feeling like he was in a fishbowl. Talks about his mother's death. I think something that I actually, I think the Crown actually taught me this was that obviously we know Princess Diana got married when she was 19 years old, which is just unbelievable. Married into this institution, a man who wanted to marry somebody else, was not in love with her, had to find somebody like a Diana because she had the pedigree and she was a virgin. Couldn't marry Camilla because she was divorced, definitely not a virgin. Okay, so she gets swept up into this world, has no life experience, upper class woman, this man who was very cold to her, don't really want her, they have nothing in common, okay? And so it's horrible. We know. We know. It's horrible for her. She struggles. She has an eating disorder. She is depressed. But she does have these children, and those children really are her lifeline to the world and lifeline to happiness. And she is, I don't want to say clinging, like, because that sounds like a pejorative, but that was her hope. That was her happiness. William in 84 and Harry in 87, I believe, or 84. William is older. 81? Let me look. Harry is 84. Sorry. Prince William. Oh, William, Prince of Wales. I forget. Oh, 1982. Woo, he's 40. Looks it, for sure. Looks it. Okay. So William 82, Harry 84, and that is what is keeping Diana grounded. But during this time in the 80s, she really is suffering. There comes a point where she is looking to break free, looking to get her own voice, because also, those are really important years in a young woman's life. From 19, that 10 years in your 20s, like, you become who you're supposed to be. And so she comes into herself. She's looking to break free. She sits down with Martin Bashir. The story is that she was tricked, or they have admitted that they obtained that interview with Martin Bashir via nefarious means. Not to be a skeptic, I believe that Martin Bashir is not 100%, like, not the greatest man. But I also believe that Princess Diana at that time was sincerely looking for an outlet for her thoughts, sincerely looking to be able to speak for the first time. So yes, there was some trickery that they have admitted to, but like, it wasn't just like, the lady was dressed up and there were cameras and, like, it's not an accident. Okay. And, she spills a lot about her unhappiness, her fears. I believe that is the interview where she says that she's worried about what the firm might do to her if, she gets out or doesn't exactly follow the protocols. Really eerie stuff if you go back and watch. And she does finally decide, they do decide that they are going to get divorced. And something that's really interesting to me about the divorce that I truly had never considered until after I did my post The Crown research was when Diana decided that she was going to divorce Charles, she doesn't get to leave with her kids. She does not get to, like a lot of mothers who choose to get divorced, say, oh, let's go and make a new life. No, they stay there and she has to pack her shit and go and make a new life. The isolation, the sadness, the loneliness of that is unreal to me. But also the trauma to her, but also think about the trauma to her children, particularly the child that we all now know was her favorite, the child that she was the closest to, Prince Harry. You go from having lots and lots of access to the parent who really cares about you. Obviously, they are royal, so there's lots of help. There is, lots of butlers and what are they called? The people who help around the castles and stuff. It's not like she's, just by herself raising her kids, but from what we know about Diana, probably way more hands-on than Queen Elizabeth, we'll say that, and way more hands-on than Prince Charles. So the one parent who has decided to take an active role in your upbringing is removed. That's already trauma. Now, they, like all of the royals, they, go off to boarding school, William and Harry. But, that's middle school years. Super, super sad there. And then, of course, we know that Princess Diana is killed in 1997. Yeah, August 1997. I literally remember sitting on the floor of my grandma's house in Oklahoma City, and she still back then had this huge floor model TV. And for some reason, I was awake, just up watching TV because I was addicted to TV, even at 8. And I remember the news flash coming on. I might have been up watching. Was that a Saturday? Because it must have been. Sorry, what day was August 31, 1997? Oh, it was a Sunday. Was it early in the morning on that Sunday? Because I must have been up from Saturday into Sunday morning. It is so weird, the little bits and pieces that you remember. Memory is a crazy thing. Anyways, I remember the flash and the news bulletin and the uproar after that. But hearing him talk about the duties, having to perform the right kind of grief for the public because of this role that he did not opt into, literally having to walk behind his mother's casket. Parental death is a trigger for me. And I just, it's cruel is what it is. Yeah. And so having to be forced into, as a young person, as a preteen, performing these duties, grappling with losing the parent that you are closest to, grappling with what is next. But also a big deal in episode 1 is them explaining the extractive relationship that the Royal Rota, which is this conglomeration of newspapers, media, tabloids, the access that they have been given to not only the adult royals, but their children as well. It is invasive. It is exploitative. And him coming into manhood, coming into adulthood, trying to figure out who I am. Also, the other thing is, William does, in a roundabout way, shade his father. I, filled in the blanks for him. He essentially said, he didn't raise me. I don't know if y'all picked up on that, but when he was talking about the lack of guidance, the lack of mentorship that he had from parental figures, he was essentially saying, my father left me to fend for myself. I didn't know what to do or where to turn, so I went off the rails. That's not surprising, to be honest. Charles, bad husband, bad father. Okay. And so, yeah, he goes crazy. And I'm actually really glad I watched this because it's easy to look back on those stories of him, wilding out and outbursts and drunk and whatever and be like, oh, just privileged, entitled, spoiled brat. But this did allow me to reconsider and see some of those actions through the lens of hurt, pain, grief, mourning, abandonment. I, of course, can deeply empathize with that because we all know when my dad died, I failed the fuck out of school. Okay. so, so yes, poor choices for sure, but I'm willing to give a lot of grace for what animates those poor choices. So the teenage years at Eton, not so great, doesn't do great in school. He eventually finds some grounding in doing charity work, mission work in Africa, in Botswana in particular, I believe. And that also connects him to the legacy of his mother because, Princess Diana was the people's princess for a reason, right? Was willing to do things that other senior royals were not willing to do, willing to go places that they were not willing to go. And he talks about really coming into adulthood, coming into a more steady, stable kind of manhood via that work. I loved that. Then he decides that he is going to join the military, which is so fascinating to me, right? Like, he could do whatever he wants. He could get the cushiest, easiest job in the world. He's the freaking, third in line to British succession, right? But he decides to join the military. And honestly, even though we are, not imperialist girls, we're not we're not military industrial complex girlies, but there is something that I truly do respect about him saying, I want to make meaning of my life. And by doing this work that is harder and regularly being around people who don't have nearly the kind of privilege that I have, I want to make it clear that I am different. I don't know. I like a rebel. I do. I like a rebel. I like a misfit. I like an outcast, because I feel like I'm a rebel, a misfit, and an outcast. All right. So anyways, I really liked that. I liked him talking about the relationships that he made during that time. And, he is the only royal who enlisted in the military, and he enlisted in wartime. Like, it's not like shit was great and he decided to be in the military for 10 years. Shit was bad. So a lot of respect to him. So then we are talking about Meghan. The note that I have here about Meghan in episode 1 is that silk press is silk pressing. And also, she does seem fun in the pictures that they show, in the little video snippets that they share. My current critique of Meghan is she feels so stiff. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything is so stilted and stiff and starched white shirt and clean girl aesthetic and, like, a little loosen up, right? And it was fun to see her before the weight of the world was on her shoulders, for sure. And I understand that Meghan has been through a lot, and that can cause people to retract. But I don't know. If we could just, get a little bit more of that spark back. Okay. Let me look at these comments. I do love a good silk press. Yeah. It's funny when people say we can't tell what race she is. Yes. There are a couple of close-ups of her hair, that hair texture. Oh, it's definitely given Negro. when he was like, I went to talk to a rabbi, I was like, your nanny literally was a driver in World War II. Yeah, it's a lot of Nazism. A lot of Nazism up in the Buckingham Palace. I think the last who did actively was probably the Queen herself. Was she? I'm not sure. I'm not convinced that Elizabeth was super hands-on. Maybe I missed that in The Crown. Okay, let me go back. Harry has made a lot of public statements prior to Meghan of not wanting that role. Okay, so when Harry says, I am my mother's child, I am my mother's son, a part of that is I'm a rebel, I care about the world, I care about philanthropy. But I think a part of that people are picking up on is a contentious, from the very, very beginning, relationship with the media and the kind of access that the royal Rota desired. I really was heartened by that footage that they inserted of Diana saying, hey, can you leave my kids alone? They're children. Put the cameras away. Her refusing to play the game. So when they were explaining the role of the press at this time, I did have mixed feelings because monarchy, we don't support it. Like, I am not like a royalist. I'm not into it. And so I feel sympathy for people who were forced into this life, who did not choose it, who have no other options, particularly when they are children. But during the discussion of the entitlement that the press and the public have to the lives of the royals, I have to be honest with you, I do kind of feel like, now look, y'all are billionaires. Like in exchange for providing the masses some entertainment, y'all get to be billionaires. Like if you look at the wealth, the land, the jewels, the stolen artifacts, the homes that they get access to, like, it's not fair, but also that part, honestly, it was hard for me. I think children should be off limits. They get to do what they do. But if you're grown and you're laying up in a home that somebody's Bayesian great grandmother toiled in, the sugarcane fields in Barbados so that you could afford to stay at Sandringham. I don't know. Like, is that just me? Am I being unkind? Because I'm just like, you could give up Balmoral. Wasn't Liz worth $30 billion? Yes, billions and billions. Yeah. We view it with our American lenses. That family is all they've ever known, and the Brits are okay with it. Yes, the Brits are okay with it. What I am really talking about is the tacit, what do they call it? It's like a covenant, like the tacit understanding between the royal family and the royal Rota of, we are going to expose ourselves and you print stuff that makes the people love us. Okay. So that was episode 1. Let's move on to episode 2. Okay, let me look at my... This is where we get Doria, which is Meghan Markle's mother, this is where, for the first time, I'm not sure that before this I've heard Doria speak, or at least not more than a sentence or two. At least not more than a hi or bye. We have seen the tabloid stuff. I've, looked her up myself, but it was nice getting more intimately acquainted with her mother, who she is, where she's coming from, because Doria is a good mother and she has decided to protect her child. And a part of protecting her child, Meghan, is not spilling your guts all over the tabloids, not signing up to, talk to TMZ, not selling a book. We love a good mother. I wanted to also take some time to learn a little bit more about Doria's background. Let's bring that up real fast because I think that there have been some questions. Good old Wikipedia. Doria, of course, we remember that green. I love this color, green. Doria Ragland. 1956, social worker, former makeup artist, and yoga instructor, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, born in Cleveland, Ohio. Her parents moved to Los Angeles when Ragland was a baby. Okay, so let's clear this up. I have heard some different things about Doria's ethnicity. From what Wikipedia is telling us, Doria is Black American. There is nothing here. There's nothing here that says that she is something other than Black American. I don't know where y'all are. The Jamaica keeps coming up. Where are you getting Jamaica from? Okay. Jonesboro, Georgia. Okay. Where are you getting it from? Let me know. Because no, this lady is Negro. Okay? We are regular Black people. And as I always say, regular is not a pejorative. It's a descriptor. You know what I'm saying? Exotic Black. Okay? That's what we are. Love it so much. I'm proud to be Black American. So I don't say that with any kind of shade at all. I don't want to get into that. Let's not do the diaspora words because I was gonna say something shady. Okay. So yes, that is Doria, Los Angeles. That is where Meghan was raised. Okay, we have that clear. So we are introduced to Doria. I loved her. She had a very calm energy. She was saying the exact things that you would expect a great mother to say. Things that stuck out for me in episode 2, which is the episode in which we learned more about Meghan and her background, is clearly, let's look at some pictures here because we're gonna have to talk about the race stuff now. Okay. So on the, left, this is Doria, Thomas, and Meghan. And on my right, at least, this is Doria and Thomas on their wedding day. Now you really see how much they favor Meghan and Doria. Okay. And the conversation about, is Meghan Markle white passing? That's not a white passing child, you guys. That person, this kid doesn't pass for white. Y'all can debate it, but that kid does not pass for white. That's not a thing. Okay. So maybe after silk press and nose job, but not that kid. Okay. So they grew up in California. I have long said, we've long known that the California Blacks are different. It is what it is. It's a different world out there. Look at the Jacksons. Talk to your Californian Black friends. They're not doing well. Okay. And Doria marries Thomas. And something that I was actually really surprised by was Meghan talking about what a good co-parenting relationship that her parents had all throughout her childhood. I assumed, based on her father's contemporary actions, that he wasn't shit the whole time. Untrue. They got divorced, Doria and Thomas, when she was 2, but they still communicated regularly. Meghan says that she spent the week with her mother and the weekends with her father, and he was very active, very involved. In episode 2, we see footage of them together, laughing, talking, playing, and actually that makes it even worse. That makes it even more heartbreaking of the shenanigans that her father has decided to take up since she's gotten married, knowing that he chose to sever that bond, that for 30-something years, y'all were thick as thieves and right? And you have all of these memories, and then things change, and you decide to switch up? Oh, horrible. How horrible and raggedy. The other thing that I was thinking when we were going through how raggedy Thomas was Thomas had 2 adult children before Doria got to him. And forgive me, y'all don't fall apart in the comments, but the divestment strategy is not always the dating and marrying out strategy, White men be just as raggedy. It's like, just choose a good man, okay? Because white men, based on what the TikTok girls be going through, oh, look, masculinity, no matter the race, the ethnicity, the men are they're not doing well. Are y'all okay? No. Anyways, Doria could have made a better choice. Okay. So we get the conversation about her growing up. She grows up as a feminist. She is, in this, progressive Californian society, and essentially like a colorblind, a race-blind upbringing, despite the fact that does not look like a white child. Fascinating. I have questions. We see Harry also simultaneously while we are getting to know more about Meghan, more about her career and racial identity. We also see Harry maturing and coming to terms with the fact that he has fallen in love with a mixed race woman. And it almost felt like Harry was being more proactive about the race stuff than Meghan. Now, I don't know if those are just storytelling decisions, but he seemed more emphatic about it than she did. And so we have to think about why. Okay, so Meghan is a smart girl. She's a talented girl, and she decides that she wants to pursue acting. Again, never heard of her, never saw her until truly they announced their engagement. But she goes to Northwestern, she graduates, she moves to California, she's auditioning. She gets an agent. The agent appears and says, I didn't know she was mixed race. I didn't know she was biracial. I just thought she had a dark tan. Oh, okay. That's fine. I'll take his word for it. And she is being sent off primarily for white parts, not black parts. And by the way, we don't want Meghan Markle really to be getting black parts. Like, let's be honest. But this is an interesting conversation about her racial identity and how she is metabolized, how she is seen and perceived by white people. But white people have racial blind, Anyways, so finally, after years and years and years of auditioning, she gets the job on Suits, and Suits becomes a moderate cable hit. But Suits is the first time when she's 30, 31 that she actually gets to play a mixed race character with white mother, black father, and Wendell Pierce. Wendell. I'm sick. Anybody who follows me behind the paywall knows that Kimberly is running a retirement home in her bedroom. Okay. Oh, stop. This is too much. Okay, because this has to stay up. I can't take this down. Okay, so things that stood out to me. Meghan recalls going to a concert with her mother, and they are driving, and there's, driving conflict because, the driving culture in Los Angeles is crazy. They're driving, and somebody honks the horn and yells the N-word at her mother. And she's a teenager at this time, and she says that is the first time that she has ever seen or experienced anything like that. I believe her. She also says that after that incident happens, she and her mother never discuss it. I believe that, but that's a problem. That's a problem. So then we fast forward to adult Meghan falling in love, whirlwind romance with Prince Harry. After 18 months, they decide to get engaged, and things are good initially. They like Meghan. She is beautiful. They, meaning, the press, the public, like Meghan. She is beautiful. She is poised. She has the big, bright smile. She's doing what she needs to do to play the game. But there comes a point when Harry decides, I actually don't like this game. I actually don't want to do this. And so they stop playing it as enthusiastically, as eagerly. And when they decide to switch up, that is when the tabloids, the Royal Rota, that's when things turn. Now, I did decide to go back and look at the evolution in the headlines, the shift, the change. And yeah, it's really stark. There is, she's so beautiful. Oh, she's this. Oh, look at the lucky girl, like whatever. And then there is a point where it does become nasty, stuck up, fame whore, manipulative. That's a big one. She's controlling him. And I'm like, whoa. And what causes that? They decide that they do not want to be subject to the whims of a press institution, of a media circus that has abused Harry in particular for all of his life, and that eventually caused the untimely death of his mother. And so when they make that little shift in their orientation toward the press, who gets the brunt of it? The biracial girl, the mixed girl. Because Harry has some insulation. He has some goodwill. Brits love the royals. It's easier to scapegoat the black lady. And yes, I am saying black on purpose. We've already gone over this. Oh, let me get some. Sorry, my lips are getting just a little. I'm saying black on purpose. So funny. Using the screen. Because this is where our racial conversations, we have to be so freaking careful about our race conversations. Meghan is, to y'all, white passing. Extremely, extremely light skin. The tiniest little texture in the silk press. A nose that looks like a Negro nose to me, even if surgically altered, but to y'all, she's white passing. Okay. She has a black mother and a white father. But she can't really, at that point, pass for white because we know who her mother is. It's impossible after things change after they go from private relationships, sneaking around, taking, cute little videos, having fun with Princess Eugenie and Jack and whatever. After it goes from, private little sacred relationship to public relationship where you're in the tabloids every single day and people are stalking your black mother in California, there is no more passing. It's out. Okay? So the conversation about racial identity, how she is perceived, how she is treated, has to account for, I get it. We know how she looks. But she is inextricably linked to her Negro mother. And that blackness, the specter of blackness, is what is coloring all of this very obviously, overtly, maliciously racist coverage, racist reaction and response to her in the UK. We don't need to debate it, okay? We actually don't even really need to debate what she calls herself, because yes, race is, when we say social, it is about how you identify, but the social part of it means, how do you move through the world? What kind of treatment are you getting? What are people projecting onto you? And that social part has never only been about your phenotype. Ever. Man, don't let African American Studies Kimberly show up. Oh, don't let African American Studies Kimberly. Like, especially if you live in the United States, right? We understand that you flip through the books, flip through. Okay. Go back, flip through. And, all of them are Negroes, okay? You're flipping through, and you're like, who that? And it's like, oh, the first black nurse in Kentucky. Huh? She has straight hair. Or, look at, Plessy versus Ferguson. Look at images of Homer Plessy. Literally the man who was responsible for the codification of segregation in the United States. Huh? He's what? So I do find these conversations about who she is, what she is, to just be real tiring, because yeah, Doria absolutely dropped the ball in not having the, hey, I'm Negro, and that has consequences conversation with her daughter. I was really struck by her explaining to her grown-ass kid, by this time, Meghan is in her late 30s, when she is having difficulty understanding, wait, why did they turn? Wait, I'm just trying to live my life and be in love with my partner. Why did this turn? Why are y'all saying straight out of Compton? Why are y'all making these weird racist innuendos? And it's her mother having to tell her grown-ass kid it's race? Yikes. It's yikes on dual fronts. It's yikes on, yeah, you're having your first race talk with a woman in her late 30s. With your biracial child, that's the first time? That's a dereliction of duty. I understand the California Negroes are different. I do. I get it. But I guess I just expect more from boomers. But then we can go back to Doria and her biography. And it does seem, if I'm looking at, let's pull it up. If I'm looking at the choices that she's made, let's, okay. Okay, Raglan married Thomas Markle, 1979, at Hollywood's Paramhansa Yogananda Self-Realization Fellowship Temple in a ceremony performed by Brother Bhaktanada. Okay, I just butchered that, and usually I'm real good at it. But it seems to me that Doria was immersed in the kind of like racial utopian communities in, late 70s, early 80s that probably actively discouraged too much, race talk. Like she wasn't a radical. And so I have to really make peace with the fact that all the boomers, not radical. I am a child of Southern Black people, father born in Alabama, mother born in Oklahoma, went to segregated schools, had to go to the colored hospital until they were preteens, okay? Integrated, like literally integrated their high schools. So for my parents and in my upbringing and my sister's upbringing, and my sister is the same age as Meghan, we got, okay, we live in the suburbs, but y'all are Negroes, okay? We got that, I'm sorry, we got that, who is texting? Early. I mean, 8. Casually sitting in the front seat of my mom's car and she's driving me to choir practice at 8 or 9 and her saying, hey, it's totally fine to have white friends. We love them. We will invite them over. You can have your sleepovers and all that. But you actually can't do that. They're nice. I like their parents. I have nothing against them. But we don't do that. We are excellent. I definitely grew up in a Black excellence household. We work hard. We are excellent. We keep our shit together. We do not break the law. We do not drink. That's what my boomer parents were telling me and my sister. And we listened. We kept those lessons, okay? So there was no one day Kimberly woke up and realized that she was different. No. Somebody is knocking on my door. I'm sorry. I keep getting up, but somebody's knocking. Okay. Y'all talking about yourselves. Wait, let me. Girl, I do not believe in firearms, but people are weird. Anyways, so I said all that to say that my parents are Doria's age. My mother is Doria's age, and I got a very different socialization because but also because of this, but also because of their experiences, because of their traumas and the things that they had to navigate and the things that they saw and the communities that they chose to be a part of. And it is I don't want to say I'm disappointed, but I think there's a lesson there. There's definitely a lesson there. And Meghan getting her, inward wake-up call after it's too late, you know what I mean? Like on the world stage in front of billions of people, like that definitely could have been avoided, for sure. There's also a conversation to be had about, Meghan making her choice, which side of the street that she wanted to reside on. Am I mad at that? No, not really. You go where you want to go, but also, can I really be mad? People are like, oh, all of her friends are white. Well, if our parents are the chief architects of our self-concept, and Meghan's parents were telling her to be colorblind, then can we really be surprised or shocked or mad that when we look back at all those photos, all the friends are white? Not really. Okay. Sorry, let me look. Oh, there's so many comments now. My mom still be giving me the talk about not acting like my white friends, and I'm in my late 20s. Probably why they didn't want to have the talk. There are plenty of interracial couples that don't want their children to be considered black but mixed. Yeah. Yeah, there are. But I don't know. I will say, I don't know a lot of 60-something-year-olds who are not Clarence Thomases who would intentionally avoid the race question. That's not an archetype that I'm familiar with. But I'm also a Southerner. Having white friends is fine, but this is what happens when you exist in a white supremacist world, but you're not in community with black people. Okay, so there's also a question about, this is also something I wanted to look up, because where exactly did Meghan grow up? Okay. Sorry, let's look. Let's add because I've gotten conflicting stuff about this too. So we know LA, but like LA is big, like Issa Rae is from LA. You know what I mean? Like, okay. Oh, the overlay. Let's take off the overlay real fast. Okay. Okay. Canoga Park. Okay, growing up in Los Angeles, Markle attended Hollywood Little Red Schoolhouse. Both her parents contributed to raising her until the age of 9, after which her father was left in charge of caring for her as her mother pursued a career. Now that's interesting. That's interesting. Okay, Immaculate Heart High School, an all-girl Catholic school. I'm sorry, now we're going to have to do even more digging. So now I have to look up what are the demographics of Immaculate Heart High School? Heart High School, Los Angeles demographics. Okay. Well, maybe this is, oh, wait, y'all can't see what I see. Okay. 3.7, not doing so great there. So in 2022, pretty diverse. Now, not a lot of black people. A lot of mixed race. Well, that's another California thing. A lot of mixed race people. Okay. So 40% people who are not white. That's pretty diverse, actually. I also wanted to look up the demographics of Canoga Park. Canoga Park, California demographics. Okay, because that's where she was born. Okay, average household income. No. No, let's get to there's no race stuff? Maybe not. Oh, that's not helpful at all. Oh, here we go. Okay, racial diversity, Hispanic, white, Asian, African American. Okay. Okay, so definitely not black. But mixed, multiracial, multi-ethnic. Interesting. In 2022. I don't know exactly what that was looking like, 30 or 40 years ago, but that's interesting. Like decidedly not very few black people, but not super white either. So anyways, based on where she was raised and the kinds of racial conversations that her parents were participating in, am I surprised that we get to a grown woman having such a great degree of naivete? No. I do think, though, that makes the racial activism that they do now interesting. This is almost also giving me like Barack Obama vibes, Except Barack Obama is more phenotypically black. But, like the stories that he tells about, white mother, white grandparents, white world, being called Barry, except I guess the big difference also is they're different generations, but also Barack Obama talks about in his memoirs experiencing racism, and Meghan does not. Okay, it's, it is what it is. It is fascinating now that they have decided to make this such a central part of their platform. Am I gonna knock it? No. Do I think it's interesting that Harry and Meghan get the President's Award or whatever from the NAACP, when 2 years before she no comment. No motherfucking comment. I mean, it's fascinating for sure. For sure. Okay, let's go to the comments. I definitely think this situation allowed her to lean into anti-Black racism more now. Experience will have you switch up for sure. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not, and I also think that, like, anybody who's mad about Meghan saying, I did not know what it was like to be treated like a Black woman until this happened to me, don't stop. Let it go. That is her experience. Like, stop. Doesn't even make sense to be upset about that. Okay. Exactly. Out of touch with everyone is some of Meghan's problem. Okay. It's one part being in Cali and another part that it wasn't really an issue for Meghan, so it didn't seem important to deal with. Also, American racism and British racism are two different things. I mean, they're cousins. You know what I mean? Like, I'm real skeptical of the broad brush of American racism and British racism are like worlds apart. I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay. Y'all, are we sure Meghan wasn't treated as Black growing up? She looks Black in those childhood photos, especially the hair. I mean, we are only going by what the story that Meghan tells us. Now, kinky hair, Negro knows Meghan. Kimberly, from Kimberly's experience, Black Southern lady raised by Black Southern parents, raised in segregation. It's hard. It's so hard for me to believe that Meghan's first time experiencing anti-Blackness was in 2016 or they went public 2018. It's really 2017. It's hard for me to believe that. Now, I can believe that things pop up and you question it. What was that? What happened? And then your bias is toward, oh, it wasn't, it's probably not racism. It's probably in my mind. We're explaining it away or whatever. But whatever. There's lots of, but frankly, there are people who look like me who say that they have never experienced anti-Black racism. Dude, I feel like I've heard Coleman Hughes, who is lighter than me, but Negro. I feel like I've heard Coleman Hughes say, oh, I haven't experienced racism until recently. And it's like, oh, okay. All right. I don't know. What can you really say to that? Okay. Sorry, there's just a lot of comments. We're really going fast. That was me. It probably wasn't racism. Yeah. Yeah, there's just like an innocence. To the people, what is this? To the people saying she doesn't look Black, who looks Blacker, her or Rachel Dolezal? What a weird question. I can't with the kinky hair. Meghan doesn't have kinky. What? No. That's not true. Let's look at Meghan Markle childhood. Okay. Yeah, she absolutely did. Oh, sorry. I forget to add it. Hide. And let's hide the overlay. Yeah. 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 Mhm. Yeah. So, and when you zoom in on this is silk press hair. Yes. That's straightened colored people hair. Yeah, you can see the texture. Okay. So anyways, that mystery has been solved. We've laid that to rest. Meghan Markle does have naturally kinky hair. Are we going to use the horrible hair typing? I mean, for A, I'm not sure that that's a 3. This is sick. We are really sick. Okay. That's not a 3. She's not in the 3s. She's in the 4s. Okay. Wow, the pathology of it all. The pathology of it all. All right, let me go back here. Back to the comments. We'll just do a couple more and then we'll finish this up. The bangs. Okay, I think the inconsistencies people call out in her experiences with racism could have been resolved in this docuseries if she had a better director. Um, I think if we had somebody who I think Liz Garbus is actually a great director. I think that if we had somebody who had more intimate knowledge of the experience and could guide some of the storytelling, because frankly, besides Serena, who shows up for a little bit, there are not any people with African ancestry in the documentary who I think can do a really good job of working through the complexities of race and racial identity from the US Black American perspective. And so we got some great stuff in there in episode 3 about the colonial history of the British Empire, the British monarchy, because they had real experts. I love Afua Hirsch. We didn't really go into the complexities of racial identity because Meghan couldn't guide it. She just discovered she was Black in 2017. That's not funny. It's not funny. Meghan couldn't guide it. Doria couldn't guide it. So it wasn't as thoughtful as it could have been. Okay. Uh if given the opportunity, would you interview Meghan? Of course I would. Of course. I think she's an interesting person. Okay. She mentally blocked it. What are we doing here? No, Meghan Markle is not white passing. Now, I also thought it was interesting that all of this, turned Harry into a race warrior. He's loud and proud. He's calling it out. He's confronting his family. Love that for him. Okay. And definitely they're doing some good PR for Harry here, right? To go from Nazi Halloween costume to loud, proud, aggressive race warrior, defender of mixed race wife and mixed children, for sure. And I'm not saying that it's not sincere. I believe that he is sincerely invested in protecting his children. I also think that Meghan provided him an opportunity to escape a life that he already didn't want to live. And from episode 1, we see that too. Because you could have chose anybody. Okay, let's finish this off. Ooh, crap. What's going on with my, okay, let's finish this off. Okay. Not my iPad messing up now. Oh, okay. Contentious relationship with the royal Rota. They didn't like it. They stopped. Oh, the last thing we really have to go here. Samantha Markle. Oh, the Markles are trash. Oh, they are truly trash. Every Markle not named Meghan, bad person. As I mentioned before Meghan was born, her father had 2 children, and by the time she came along, they were adults. One of them is named Samantha, and Samantha has, from the very start of Meghan's public life as, being royal adjacent, been a hating ass bitch. And the opportunism is so wild to me. And I've been having these conversations over on the other channel, and whenever I see stuff like this, I am so galled. I am so appalled. I cannot believe it. Like, whose family would do that to them? But based on some of the stuff that I've been reading over the last couple of days, it turns out that a lot of people's families would do that. And it might actually be that if you come from a family where if one of your half brothers, because the other thing is, my sister, the person I call my sister is my half sister, technically, but we don't do that. We're Black, okay? The person I call my sister is my half sister. We did grow up in the same house, but still, I cannot even imagine selling her out, betraying her, trying to profit from her misery, profit from her pain, accepting checks from these really shady institutions. I cannot imagine that. I even feel really icky about even calling her my half sister, because technically that is the term, but we are Black. We don't do that. If you're Black and you do that, congratulations. We don't do that. It's just sick. So Samantha has made up all of these lies about Meghan, fabricated her relationship to Meghan. Meghan and Samantha had no history, had no interaction. No real history. They're like 20 years apart or something like that. They didn't grow up in the same household. They saw each other maybe twice in Meghan's entire life. And Samantha feels so comfortable selling all of these stories about who Meghan is and her temperament, and she's controlling and all that. Like, it's horrible. It does also speak to the corruption of that media system in the UK. That it's easy to just do a little bit of research and say, this lady does not know Meghan Markle. But it makes for a good story, so they're gonna run with it. Also, that's not the only reason why Samantha Markle ate shit. And I also really appreciated them putting the detail of Samantha Markle being an unfit parent. So her child, Ashley, was raised by Ashley's raised by her paternal grandparents. So not only is Samantha shitty sister, Samantha shitty mother. And in episode 3, I felt so deeply for Ashley because she has already experienced the horrible fundamental like wound of abandonment from her mother, that severed mother-daughter relationship, like knowing your mother is out in the world and just like not responsible. Awful. Eventually, Ashley, who's technically Meghan's niece, and Meghan, they get close, and we hear them both talk about their relationship, building it. They are both filling voids for each other. Meghan didn't have a sister, didn't really have a whole lot of family. Ashley does not have the connection to her mother's side of the family, and there, so maybe a little bit of codependency up in there. But good things can come out of codependency. And so for years and years and years, they're super, super close. But then all of this stuff explodes with Samantha selling stories, just being so aggressively nasty, being malicious, going behind her back. And so there's a rift after years of them being, two peas in a pod, developing lots of intimacy, both of them trying to mend, these wounds from childhood. Sorry, my front door. Then the stuff explodes with the British media. Meghan is trying to do her best to play her part, stiff upper lip, don't rock the boat. It's kind of Harry's responsibility, Harry's duty to like try to quell things, you know what I'm saying, dampen things. And because that's happening, she has to break away from Ashley. That's really sad and traumatic for Ashley. In addition to Samantha Markle being, I'm trying not to call women the B word, but an ain't shit B word. Her father flips. Her father, in the midst of this really difficult, trying time that is fueled by anti-Black racism, decides that he is going to start working with tabloids, both British and American, to talk about Meghan behind her back, knowing that Meghan is getting all of this input, this information. Don't say anything. Don't antagonize the press. Don't speak to them. We have this understanding. And they're doing all of this work to like put out all of these fires. And back in the United States, her father is taking money to sell stories to, it is just, what a piece of shit. And the other crazy thing about this is they're all still doing it. Still, to this day, haven't stopped. And so and they probably won't get into this, but I remember a really big story that the Daily Mail ran, and I actually think they might have had to retract it because Harry and Meghan sued them, was Meghan desperately trying to get in contact with her father and say, whoa, what's going on? What's happening? Are you talking to the press? Why are you not doing this? Where are these stories coming from? And because they basically had to be on lockdown, you know what I'm saying? Because, phones are getting compromised and people are getting stalked and all of that, she decides to write him letters, her father. And the Daily Mail got a hold of these handwritten letters. I wonder if they're still up because Harry and Meghan sued them for publishing those letters and they won. So I wonder if they're still up. Meghan, actually, I won't even, if they got taken down, let's not put them up. But anyways, y'all can do this on your own time. Meghan writes these letters to her father that are so heartbreaking. Daddy, why are you doing this? Daddy, tell me you're not lying. Tell me that what they're saying is happening is not true. Why is this happening? Let me know. Is it money? We have money for you. Are they coercing you? Are they lying to you? Tell the truth. Really? Dramatic stuff. In the official Buckingham Palace stationery. And those handwritten letters end up in the Daily Mail. How? How? Because her father sold them. Thomas, worst white man on the planet, Markle, sold, no, because, Donald Trump is still alive, but sold his daughters handwritten letters begging him, pleading with him, trying to console him, saying, look, I understand this is crazy for all of us, but just return my phone calls, get in touch, we'll make it okay. I still want you to come to the wedding. Sold them. Super sad, that is. So anyways, they are days away from the wedding. The story breaks that he is working with the British tabloids, and it's going to be just this horrible, blight on what is supposed to be a great and joyous day. They cannot get in contact with Thomas to do damage control, so he ends up not coming to the wedding. Samantha is not invited to the wedding because she is an ain't shit bee. And because Samantha is not invited to the wedding, her biological daughter, Ashley, can't be invited either. So despite the fact that Ashley and Meghan, for the, 10 years prior, have traveled together, have roomed together, worked on businesses together, because of the optics, Ashley gets cut out. Okay, so first mother figure abandons her, second mother figure abandons her. It's some really crazy shit. Anyways, I've been here for way longer than I needed to be on here. I just like to talk. I do this job because I just like to talk. Let me go back to the comments. Yeah, because he's got to pay his bills. Yes. The thing is, yeah, he has to pay his bills, but one, Meghan wasn't broke before getting with Harry. But also, I'm sure that if he had gone to Meghan, I mean, they were literally so close, and said, I'm having a hard time, she could have figured something out. There are so many other options. She's marrying a billionaire on paper. So, do you really need to take $100,000 from a British tabloid? No, you don't. You want to do that. And not only is he doing that, but also not actively discouraging his other daughter from her shenanigans. Okay. It was the heart attack in KFC for me. Yeah. Okay. Did he actually have a heart attack or no? Did he? Because I wasn't sure if that was a story or not. Y'all let me know. Yeah. So, the way she knew because he called her Megan, I was like, yeah. Okay. So she is days before her wedding, frantically trying to get in contact with her father to know, what are you doing? Are you working with the tabloids? These people are harassing me. They're making my life horrible. And he does not pick up. And she realizes that somebody has her father's phone. Oh, also the other trauma of she is hearing through the grapevine, oh, he's not picking up because he has had a heart attack, but he will not be in touch with her to confirm that he has had a heart attack. So now you're mad at him. He's done this thing that has damaged you and your new family and your relationship to the new family. And you're hearing that he is potentially on his deathbed. That's a lot. And you are planning, last minute planning, a wedding that billions of people are going to see. That is stressful. Come on. That's a lot. So when people are like, oh, it wasn't that bad, baby, that's a lot. Because now you have to grieve a person who's living. And, that's the other thing. The new episodes will get to the wedding part of this. But I do remember watching the wedding and being like, oh, her wedding gown does not fit well. Like, there's something going on with the tailoring of this gown. And, now in hearing that story, it's making me think that she was just like stress not eating. Like she just lost like last minute weight because she was stressed. Because the fit of that dress was just not, it wasn't giving billionaire to me. Okay. Kim already shared he co-parented her and flipped for a dime. Yeah, it's not like they were estranged. They were very close. And the Wikipedia says that for a while her mother was pursuing her acting career, Meghan stayed with Thomas. So he parented her, at least for a time, full time. And it was not until she became British royal family famous that they stopped speaking, that they were not super, super close. Okay, no heart attacks. He did not have a heart attack. Yeah, take it from me. Grieving your dead, estranged father is weird to say the least. What about Samantha's daughter, Ashley? Okay, so from what I understand, that Ashley and Meghan, maybe they have repaired or they're working on it. I don't know. We haven't gotten there yet. But anyways, at the point we are in the story, they are not, I mean, they're barely speaking. How could a father hate his daughter like that? I mean, why would you do that? It's not like she was a stranger. Like he wasn't one of those like, oh, what if my kid has bad vibes? Like he wasn't one of those. Like he was in her life. You saw her grow up. You nurtured her. You have all of these milestone moment memories with her. I just cannot. I can't believe that. Why do you think he behaved that way? Greed. Greed. For sure. The sister was jealous of Meg's relationship with Ashley. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I can see that. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so for a minute, Ashley was saying that she was trying to reconnect with Samantha, build that relationship back up. But then, things took a turn. And now Ashley and Samantha don't speak at all. It's a lot of, And Meghan was absolutely right in when the media flipped, turned on her and descended with all of this racist mess. I'm sure they were hoping that it was going to be some good old-fashioned Negro drama. I'm sure they were hoping that the coloreds were going to be, falling out and fighting and, doing, the typical stereotypes of Black Americans. Nope. It was the white trash part that unraveled everything. I'm gonna be honest with you. I love that for us. I do. I love that for us. Keep us out of it. We're not in this. Why am I in it? But it is sad for her. She loves her dad. I don't. I'm gonna be honest with. I'm not gonna make excuses for it, but it's almost like, did something happen? Like, are you okay? Like, how can you just flip like that? Are you mentally well? There are some dads who are in competition with their children, and maybe he didn't like her success and wanted to be in the spotlight. Oh, at least a part of her overachieving feels a little like trying to be perfect enough for a toxic parent. Hmm. Yeah, because that does get underscored that it's almost like, Meghan is like, oh, I didn't even want to be an actor. Well, yeah, you did. It's funny. I mean, we can talk about this now. I think that there is something, and I'm one to talk, I know, but there is something pretentious about Meghan, right? Like, where she's like, when I was in undergrad, I majored in, theater and international relations, and I didn't even really want to be an actor. I'm like, well, yeah, you did. I do think she's smart. I do. Like, she would have a great, thoughtful conversation. I just find that to be fascinating. And I've listened to a couple episodes of her podcast, especially the one with Mariah Carey. And that one was about, the word diva, and Mariah Carey talks about being a diva. And Mariah Carey kind of pokes a little bit of fun at Meghan and is like, oh, you're a diva. You're a diva too. And like, Meghan does not like that. She did not. She had a very viscerally negative reaction to it. And she cops to that viscerally negative reaction. But it's like, yeah, like there is something a little, hoity-toity about Meghan for sure. Not that I'm saying that she was trying to social climb, that any of this was a big master plan, that she was plotting on Harry. Not any of that. It's just that this gives her an opportunity to be her true pretentious self. And by the way, I know that most people interpret pretentious as a pejorative. It is a descriptor to me because I'm also pretentious. So I relate. Like... Okay. International relations. Okay. Wait, if the black folks were quiet, unproblematic, why not more of them at the wedding? Because they didn't have a relationship. It's never mentioned by Doria or Meghan that they had a relationship with extended family. I remember Thomas getting mad because Meghan promised she'd take care of him when he got old, but she couldn't do that anymore as a royal. I'm sure she could have found some money under the table somewhere. Yeah, but Mariah, I am once again saying Meg is the light-skinned sister in the Vanishing. Shout out to Britt Bennett. Because that was a great book. I love The Vanishing Half. Okay. But what someone said, how long? Wait, okay, we'll do this for 6 more minutes. We'll stop at 2 hours. Okay. But what someone said about seeing him makes sense with her seeing the paparazzi's pictures and thinking that he was being sweet rather than an opportunist. Yeah. Because people, you just don't expect for somebody's parent to do that. You just don't. No. Okay. So this is about, was she plotting on him? Didn't she write a letter to her grade school principal, when I'm rich and famous? Girl, I wrote a letter to my grade school principal saying, when I'm rich and famous. You know what I mean? Like, I think that you can be ambitious. Like, you can feel like, oh, I'm, destined for greatness or whatever. That doesn't necessarily mean that you are conniving or what, like, whatever. I don't believe that. I don't. No. I do think that there's some little details that maybe are being elided, when she's like, oh, I had no idea who he was and what. I'm like, oh, okay. But I don't think that she had a master plan to entrap Prince Harry. And I like that the first episode of the series sets the scene by Prince Harry basically saying everything except, I was trying to get the fuck out of there. I hated it. I hated this life. It was making me miserable. My father didn't love me. I was abandoned. I was not close to my, like, yes, he wanted out and he found a purpose in Meghan. It is giving codependence. It is a little. Oh, okay. This is another thing. Y'all are bringing up some good points. I want to know why Harry didn't prepare her for his family. She seems so unprepared for even that. Now, this is a big thing that came up. And of course, it's their relationship is moving, I think, actually at a pretty reasonable rate. It's finally time for her to meet Queen Elizabeth. And she finds out really last minute. And then she has to get like a literal crash course, an on-site crash course into what do you do when you meet the Queen. I think that, okay, so what are we going to chalk this up to? Like, why would Harry not make sure that she's good here? Are we going to chalk this up to, there's lots of options. The first option is he didn't want to make it a big deal. He didn't want to freak her out. There's all this pressure on her already, potentially all this pressure on her, different backgrounds, different nationalities. Don't put too much pressure on her so that she's not in her head. That's one option, okay? Spring it on her last minute so she doesn't have, all day to freak out or she doesn't lose any sleep. That's one option. Two, typical self-centered man who is not thinking about the consequences of woman. I think Harry loves Meghan. H loves M, what they call each other. I do. I think that he is invested in making sure that she is well and safe. I also think he is still a person who has been doted on, coddled, cared for, been the center of attention. So do I imagine that he is always the most thoughtful person? No, probably not. Okay. So two options. One, trying to protect her from stress. Second, didn't even think about it. Didn't even cross his mind to be like, hey. Okay. The third, I don't know, throwing her into the deep end. Figure it out. I don't know. But that was weird. But to me, what's even weirder is that after she is being ushered into the family, after they're engaged, when she's preparing for the wedding, there's no class. There's no class of here's what you do, here's how you cross your cross at the ankle, not at the thigh. This is the length of the dress that you like. Why would Harry not take on the responsibility of saying, here's what you're gonna need. Let me connect you with this person. Like that seems weird to me. That seems like a plot hole to me. Like if this is a movie, that seems like a plot hole. Okay. Harry was ready to cut the cord, and he knew being with a woman of African lineage would do just that. Oh, and British. I did see somebody saying, well, honestly, so many of these rituals are absurd. Like the announcement of the royal babies being born and all that. It is silly. Okay. He probably thought that his family would be more welcoming. Why would he think that though? No, I don't think he thought that. I'm not getting any vibes from Harry in this series that even before Meghan was in the picture, that everybody was super, super close and they were, calling each other up on the phone and sharing their innermost thoughts and being vulnerable. No. It's like he knew that they were basically like hazing her, you know what I'm saying? So why not intervene? Hmm. Could Harry be also holding back information because he was insecure or scared? He did mention getting rejected by people and women when they realized the magnitude of everything tied to him. I think initially that makes sense, but after you're engaged, that does not make sense. Uh, Fergie and Diana have both said they were not prepared and they were royal adjacent. Okay. Kate probably did have a class, but Kate was, Kate is going to be queen consort or whatever. I also think that there is something, maybe something that connects Harry and Meghan is a general naivete about the world, in different ways. And so maybe that, I'm not a skeptic, like I am naturally oriented towards optimism. I feel like I am real and I am fair because I go out of my way to be informed. And it seems like neither Harry nor Meghan are people who go super far out of their way to be informed. Okay, I have not seen the second trailer. Yeah, my vote is he did it because men be thoughtless in that way. I think that that is completely a possibility. I'm not sure that it's malicious. Okay. Anyways, we're past the 2 hour mark. You guys, I'm just on here hanging out. That's just what I've been doing recently, just on live hanging. Okay. that was a thing. The rest of the episodes drop later today. Is it midnight? Oh God, it is. I promise you guys, I feel like it is 1 p.m. My internal clock. We're not doing good. We're not doing good. Anyways, I mean, I guess I'll be up for a few more hours. Well, that is that on that. Thank y'all for, walking through my thoughts with me, hanging out late night. Come to the Christmas party. Tickets are going to be on sale until 11:59, December 15th, 2022. Excited to see y'all. Excited to meet y'all. We're just having a great time. We just are. We're having a great time in life, having a great time in content. Check out all of the links below. Sign up for the Substack or the Patreon or the YouTube members, whatever, if you want to get access to the bonus content. I am done. See you later. Bye, guys.